Here we go.
Ready or not. This honestly is not easy, and we're still in the flat part.
We have just seen our first mountain goat. He's standing all stoic on a rock, definitely interested in us. I know what he's after, it's really gross, I'll tell you later. We have officially made it into the upper Enchantment Basin, and it truly feels like we have entered into a whole new world up here.
We're Jess and Miles. In 2019, we quit our jobs to pursue a dream of long-term travel around the world. After traveling for 6 months, we were brought back to the U.S. due to COVID-19. We are back on the road here in the United States. We have spent the past couple of weeks in Washington and have a very big adventure planned for this weekend. We will be spending 5 days backcountry camping in the Enchantments. The Enchantments sit within the Alpine Lakes Wilderness in the central Cascades region of Washington state. This area is a pristine wonderland with rugged mountain peaks and crystal blue lakes. Our adventure here turns out to be one of the most memorable experiences we have had during our first year of travel. We usually start our hiking videos on the trail, but so much has gone into this upcoming adventure, we thought we would share a little bit of what it's taken to get to this point. If you're not interested in any of the logistics and just want to jump straight to the hike, well, you can skip to whatever time we're putting somewhere around here.
Tomorrow, we will be starting on what is likely the most popular trail in all of the enchantments, and that's the Enchantments thru-hike. It's around 20 miles long, and a permit is required for backcountry camping in this area between May 15th and October 31st. And the permit process is extremely competitive. It's said to be one of the most sought after backcountry permits in the entire US.
And we got one.
We're so fortunate.
We're so excited. So they do a lottery each year in February, and we obviously didn't apply for the lottery at that time because we were in Southeast Asia and had no idea we would be visiting Washington in 2020. They also typically have a day of walk-in lottery, but due to COVID, they're not doing this in person. It's being issued online. Currently, they're releasing the remaining permits for the week between 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. each Monday. I literally sat at my computer for those 4 hours straight, hitting refresh, trying to get a permit. I must have hit refresh about 1,000 times.
Easily.
The spaces were gone as quickly as they came for each zone, so we know we are incredibly lucky to have gotten a permit at all.
The Enchantments Permit Area consists of 5 zones, and we didn't just get any permit. We got the Core Zone. Not only is this the most popular area, but it's the only permit that allows you to camp in any of the 5 zones. And you can stay for as many as 14 days. The permit costs $10 a day, and we purchased 5 days. So we can stay as long as Sunday if that's what we choose.
We actually have never backpacked for more than 2 nights, but we of course know how lucky we are to have gotten this permit, so we want to take full advantage.
To say we're backpacking novices would be an understatement for sure. So packing enough food for 4 nights has been pretty intimidating. It turns out 4 days worth of food for 2 people is a lot. So we've had to do a lot more pre-planning and consolidating.
I've always been impressed with the dehydrated meals, but they're pretty expensive, so it's not very practical to only bring those for 5 days in the wilderness. So we're gonna be trying a few new things this time.
Of all the things we brought last time, my favorite by far was the instant mashed potatoes. So I found a few videos about something called a ramen bomb. We did a trial run this afternoon, and it turns out they're pretty good. So I'm looking forward to having those on the trail.
We have laid out all of our gear.
It's probably way too much.
It definitely is, but I really don't know what we should take out. So anyways, if you're interested in a full packing list, we will share it in the description, but it's already about 7 o'clock, so it's time to get everything packed up and ready for tomorrow, so we'll see you on the trail. We have just made it to the Snow Lakes trailhead, which is actually where we'll be finishing the hike. This is a point-to-point hike, and we don't have 2 cars, so we're leaving our car here at the end, and then we have booked a one-way shuttle through Leavenworth Shuttle and Taxi. It costs $25 per person, and they'll be taking us up to the Colchuck Lake trailhead, where we'll be starting the hike.
All right, we are on the trail. It's about 1:30, and we've got 4 miles and 2,000 feet of elevation gain to Colchuck Lake, where we're gonna be camping tonight. Like we mentioned yesterday, one of the awesome things about our permit is that we can camp in any of the 5 zones, so we don't have to make it all the way to the core zone on day 1.
We've talked a lot about our overnight permit, but if you're day hiking in this area, all you need is a self-issued permit that you can get right at the trailhead. And Colchuck Lake is a very popular out and back day hike. It's supposed to be really beautiful, and I'm so excited we get to camp there tonight. The trail has just started off in the trees. We've had a little bit of an incline so far. And I'm not gonna lie, I am really feeling the weight of this backpack.
We were pretty proud of ourselves to be able to pack all that food and supplies in our bags yesterday, but it's a different story now that they're on our backs. We didn't get a chance to weigh them, but we're thinking they're at least 40 pounds apiece.
We have just reached the turnoff to Colchuck Lake and we are heading left.
All right, we're probably about halfway to the lake and the trail has gotten quite a bit steeper. We're thinking we're gonna need to adjust our time expectations over the next few days, because what we usually are able to do pretty quickly on a day hike is taking us a good bit longer with all this weight. We're moving pretty slow, but we're making progress.
We are definitely getting close.
Can almost see the lake. Most of this hike has been in the trees. There have been a couple of views through the trees of how beautiful these mountains are, but I can already tell as we're getting close to this lake that the views are gonna open up and I cannot wait. Oh, wow.
This water.
Look at that water. It is green.
Oh my gosh. This is beautiful.
This is beautiful.
It's about 4:30, so that took us all of 3 hours. We should have about maybe 2 hours before the sun sets, so hopefully we can find a good spot.
I think we have found our home for the night. It's not on the main lake, but it's right here by a pond. It's a little secluded off from the trail and it has some beautiful views of the mountains.
Now it's time to go set up camp.
We have our tent all set up. It's a nice quiet spot, and then we put our hammocks down by the pond. And now it's time for dinner.
And I am really excited for what's on the menu tonight. So tonight's gonna be our first attempt out on the trail of making a ramen bomb. It's actually pretty simple. 2 cups of water, boil, cook some ramen. We got full packs of chicken flavored top ramen. Break it up a little bit. I think we're supposed to boil it for like 2-3 minutes. And then we've already pre-portioned out a little more than 2 servings of instant mashed potatoes. So we'll put the seasoning in here with the ramen. It'll soak up all the leftover water just for a little extra protein. Never had this before. We've got Thai chili style tuna packs that we'll split as well. And then finally, for dessert, we have dried mango.
Ooh, I can smell that Thai chili tuna. You know, it doesn't really look very appetizing, but we tried it out yesterday.
Not with the tuna.
Not with the tuna. See, that looks pretty gross. That's good stuff. You're just gonna have to trust me on this. I like the tuna.
You do?
Mm-hmm. Mainly the spicy flavor.
Not only are these things delicious, but they're over 600 calories, which we're gonna need because we're headed over Asgard Pass tomorrow. Now it's time for dessert. It's not quite mango sticky rice, but it's gonna get the job done on the trail.
So our 1-year travel anniversary is coming up on Friday. On October 2nd, 2019 was when we left the US to start traveling the world full time. So to commemorate, Miles got these really cute Waypoint of View coffee mugs made for us. I love it.
Happy travel anniversary, baby.
It's time to call it a night. We have a big day tomorrow. It is day 2, and I think we slept about as good as we were expecting last night. We are having some breakfast. We both are doing 2 packs of oatmeal, and then we have doctored it up with some extra granola and nuts and dried berries. I like our creation.
Last time we went camping, we brought 1 pack of oatmeal apiece, and it was definitely not enough. We learned our lesson there.
Breakfast was delicious, and now we are going to enjoy some coffee in our hammocks before we hit the trail.
We have had a great night here by Colchuck Lake. This would honestly be worth an overnight trip all by itself, but it's time to pack up because we've got the Asgard Pass in our future.
It is over 2,000 feet of elevation gain in less than a mile. It's going to be a lot of rock scrambling, and so I'm just pretty nervous, honestly, with how that's going to go with the weight of our backpacks.
We got this.
It's going to be a big day. All right, here we go.
Ready or not? It's almost 10 o'clock and we are getting on the trail. Our original goal was to be on the trail by 9 a.m., but we had a little bit slower morning. And even though the Asgard Pass is definitely going to be tough, on the plus side, we only have about 2 miles planned for the day. We plan to camp pretty close to the top of the pass, so at least it's not going to be a long hiking day. The part I'm most nervous about is all these boulders. It's one thing to go up a steep trail. It's another thing to pick every step on a boulder with a heavy backpack on. Feeling pretty fresh this morning though. How about you? Yeah.
Okay, we have just come out of the trees and now we have to cross this boulder field around the north side of the lake. Is it the north side of the lake?
Yeah.
And then Asgard Pass is up there.
We got this.
I gotta stop looking at it.
Some big boulders.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
This honestly is not easy, and we're still in the flat part. It's been pretty slow going over all these boulders. We've already been on the trail for about an hour, and we're just now getting to the base of the pass.
All right, we have made it to the base of the pass. The right side here is a waterfall. Don't go that way. The correct path is to the left side. So up we go.
How you doing, baby?
Pretty good. Honestly, better than I was expecting. From the bottom of the pass, it nearly looks impassable. But now that we're actually on the trail, I'm not quite as intimidated at this point. So far, at least, there's been a pretty well-defined trail, but we're maybe, I don't even know, not even a quarter of.
No, for sure not.
Maybe like an eighth.
Yeah.
So check back.
So Jess mentioned that the right path stays to the left, and honestly it seems pretty straightforward. There's a really large rock formation with a bunch of trees on it that we know we need to stay left of, and it's big right in front of us.
Can't miss it. I am so excited to be here in early fall when these larches are starting to turn this bright yellow, and then against the blue of this lake, it is absolutely beautiful.
All right, this might be a bad idea, but we're taking bets on what our elevation is right now. We know we have to get to 7,800 feet. We started at 56. So let's see.
I'm thinking 7,000.
67.
Oh no!
Whew. Does that mean halfway?
That means halfway. So we've been roughly 1,100.
I think we've traveled more of the 3/4 of a mile. I think the rest is just steeper
That
than what
much
we've already
steeper,
done.
yeah. You can't actually really see where we're headed at this point.
We have just seen our first mountain goat. Apparently there are a ton of them up in the core zone. He's standing all stoic on a rock, definitely interested in us. I know what he's after. It's really gross. I'll tell you later.
I'll tell you now.
Let's go and get this out of the way.
They're very attracted to salt, and apparently there's a lot of salt in urine, so they have a particular fondness for campers' urine. They chase you when you have to pee.
This has definitely become a lot more steep, and it's becoming harder and harder to stay on the right route.
It really is tough because they got these small little cairns along the route, but when you're looking up the slope, it's pretty difficult to tell the difference between just a pile of rocks and the route you're supposed to take.
The top is in full view, and it's safe to say that we're getting close.
Final stretch.
Yeah, we got this.
So we honestly thought we were a little closer to the top than we actually are. We now have to cut across the face of the pass, across the water, and then make our way up. So we've still got a little ways to go.
I'm not gonna lie, every step is pretty painful at this point, but we're almost there. We made it.
We're gonna stop here for a quick snack before we try and find our camp spot for the night. I don't think we're gonna make it very far.
It's a little after 1, so that took us about 2.5 hours to make it up the pass. And I had definitely made it out to be worse in my mind than what it actually was. And I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. I mean, it was nothing short of brutal.
It was brutal.
Especially probably the last half. So steep. It was really hard to stay on the trail. There were times I was pulling myself up on all fours.
We were losing the trail so often that you had to stop, look around, try and find the cairns, and then start again. And that's really what added so much time to it, in my opinion.
Well, we probably would have been stopping to catch our breath if not for that anyway. So.
Fair enough. It was just an excuse.
Even saying all that, it's definitely doable. I cannot wait to explore the core zone.
Oh my gosh. We made it.
And we have our first unnamed little pond behind me.
Well, it turns out that that nice little blue pond was just before the end of the pass. So we had just a little bit more climbing to do, but now we are finally at the real top of the pass, and it is beautiful. Holy cow.
We have officially made it into the upper Enchantment Basin. We have left Colchuck Lake behind, and it truly feels like we have entered into a whole new world up here. This is amazing.
We get to camp up here tonight.
And we get to camp up here tonight. This is home for the night. We have come off the trail just a little bit. We have these incredible mountain views. Isolation Lake is just right there. I don't think we could have picked a better spot.
Nailed it.
Look at it.
We are all set up, and now it's time to head down to the lake for lunch.
So probably the menu item I am least excited about is lunch. We really struggled with what to do for 4 lunches, and this is the best we could come up with. A tortilla with some peanut butter, honey, and then maybe we'll add banana chips for texture. Doesn't sound very good.
It's a peanut butter and banana sandwich.
Kind of. The honey part I am excited about. Thank you, Suzanne.
It's my mama's honey.
Okay.
Oh, she looks really good. Sounds crunchy. Bananas were a bad choice.
It's just weird. I mean, it's not bad. The tortilla's just throwing me off, you know? Like, where's my taco? This isn't a taco.
We've just been relaxing, enjoying this incredible view, but we've got our map and it's time to start talking strategy for the rest of our time here in the Core Zone.
We parked our car right here and took a shuttle all the way to the trailhead, which is right here. And then yesterday we hiked to Colchuck Lake, camped here. And then this morning we hiked around the lake and up Asgard Pass. And here we are camping somewhere around Isolation Lake.
So we're just now in the Core Enchantment Zone. And as you can see, we're here at Isolation Lake. And the Core Enchantment Zone has so many incredible lakes in these mountains. So over the next couple of days, we're going to work our way down further into the Core Enchantment Zone. Tomorrow night, we think we're going to try and camp here by Perfection Lake and then do a day hike up to Prusik Pass. And after that, we're kind of leaving our options open a little bit. We may spend our second night in the same campsite so we don't have to tear down, pack up, and move again. Or we may move further down into the Enchantment Zone to stay at one of the other lakes. I don't know that we can go wrong.
We have come back up to the pass and we have views of both Colchuck Lake and Isolation Lake from up here. This is the perfect spot for dinner.
We've got round 2 of ramen bombs tonight for dinner and then we're gonna call it a night. It has been an incredible day and I cannot wait for tomorrow.
Just when I think it can't get any better, it just does. I'm quite convinced that the people who got to name this place and all of the mountains and the lakes came here in the fall when these larches were bright yellow.
That's a Whoville Christmas tree that wants to participate in fall, if I have ever seen one.
The puddle by our tent froze over last night.